I'm gonna do a Monday Night Football video game. I mean, not video game, football pregame. I am gonna go to the Grove, and I am gonna do another video. I haven't decided if I'm gonna do another groundbreaking video, or I'm gonna do a video that's worth talking about. See, I like to keep these videos fresh and new for you YouTubers, you subscribers, my fan base. When you become popular, because O'Shea Duke Jackson said I'm now starting to get popular, and I am running out of some space. At some point, I will run out of space. It will actually happen. And like I said, I don't want y'all to be going in the comment section of my old channel like this other YouTuber did on my other channel where I ran out of space. Like, it took me almost 2 years to run out of space on that channel, but ultimately I ran out of space on that channel. And we get to this year when it's almost over, and this guy like 2 months ago was in the comment section and asked for a video request, and I gave him a video request, but I was shocked that even somebody would go on that channel, look at a video, which I didn't have no problem with. It's the fact that you would leave a comment on that channel. He said he couldn't find my other channels, and I was like, all you gotta do is type up my name, Alexander Odin, and my old YouTube channels as well as my new channels come up. I ain't had a chance to put up a picture profile, which I will by, if not this week, sometime next week I will put up picture profiles. I'm just trying to figure out which picture will fit which video. Like, if it's sports, we'll have to wear a UCLA jacket so you'll know that every time I do a sports video, it's sports. Every time I do movies or television, I'll probably wear a t-shirt that will let you know, okay, he's doing movie reviews, TV reviews, so it becomes easier that every time you type my name up on YouTube and it comes up, you know which channel is for what content. So then you don't watch all my channels and get confused and go which content is which content. It's an idea that I ran by my division team, and my division team told me they have trouble looking for my videos. So I kind of thought to help y'all out. Each time I do a channel, we'll have something that will make it easy for you to know which content is for what. Now, I am going to have my guy do it for me so it would look legitimate. Now, let's get into the video. It's going to be the Bengals, the Canadian Bengals, versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, both these football teams, it's a rivalry. Going back since the days of the late 60s, early 70s, 80s, 90s, they've got a rich history of an old school rivalry. Both football teams are very competitive. Both teams have played against each other at home and on the road. And both teams have even played each other in the playoffs back in the day. And both teams are synonymous with a rivalry. The Steelers usually win 60% of these games. Every time the Bengals come to Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh always seems to always win. Every time Pittsburgh goes to play the Bengals, usually the Bengals win. And every now and then the Bengals would come to Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers at home. Every now and then the Steelers go and play against the Bengals and beat them. Now, both teams have not done very good this NFL season. It's 3 or 4 weeks into the NFL season, and both teams, from what I've seen, they're just confused. The Bengals, almost 8 out of 10, maybe 8 or 9 out of 10 years, their name was in the conversation. Once upon a time, the Bengals was a powerhouse. They was a force to be reckoned with. Every time you looked on those matchups, they were right there. If they weren't playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, they was going against the Baltimore Ravens. If it weren't the Ravens, it would be the Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. They were always playing somebody on television back when they had Chad Johnson. They were bigger, they were stronger, they were faster. They're known as an offensive football team. Their defense is up and down. And this team used to make the playoffs on a regular season. I used to always turn on my TV set, and every time the Pittsburgh Steelers played on television, the Bengals played on television. Every time the Pittsburgh Steelers made it to the playoffs, the Bengals made it to the playoffs. And You knew somewhere in the NFL season, these two were going to meet each other face to face, and you were going to get a game that was unpredicted. You know, the first two quarters, it was all the Bengals. Third quarter, fourth quarter, Ben Roethlisberger come in, take over the football game, and it'll just go back and forth. A big shootout between these teams. At one point, one of these rivalry games went into an overtime, then in a second overtime. And then these two faced each other in the playoffs 10 or 11 years ago. And then, you know, Chad Ochocinco had that little incident. You know, he got traded. Then they tried to bring in Terrell Owens. You know, that didn't work. Then, you know, Terrell Owens was gone. Chad was gone. Coach got fired. They brought in a new coach. You know, then some of their players on the defensive line got traded, you know, and left. And then, you know, the offense team had to step up. And then they brought in some draft picks. And some of their draft picks got injured and traded. And next you know, you don't see the Bengals on television. You don't even see them in the playoffs. And you're like, what happened to this football team? I'm serious. When I was in college, every time I turn on TV, the Bengals was right in your face. I mean, they would sometimes get on to Thursday Night Football. You know, they would be right in the lineup. Now this team is, you know, they got identity issues because they're just not the team that they used to be. You know, when you lose all these players and you fire coaches, like they actually went through a series of firing a whole bunch of coaches because they just weren't the same team. You know, they would get exposed by football. You know, at one point, they had a game, I think a year ago or 2 years ago, where they played against the Green Bay Packers and actually won that football game simply because Aaron Rodgers was hurt. And I thought at that point, okay, they won a game. Let's see what happens. And they won 2 games, 3 games, 4 games, and then all of a sudden they go up against a Philadelphia Eagles team and they get laid out. You go against Kansas City Chiefs, they lose. You know, they beat a Dallas Cowboys team 3 years ago, and then next you know, you turn around, they lose to the Patriots, get blown out, you know, get smacked around by Denver, you know, get, you know, killed by the Ravens. And then we get that matchup, the Bengals and the Steelers. So I don't know what I expect from this game. If the Bengals win the football game, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, their record's 0-3. They lost 3 games in a row. If they can beat Pittsburgh, which, like I said, if they win, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be shocked if they actually win the football game. Not that I would care, because I'm not a Bengals fan. I just know the history of the football team. Because for the past 10 to 11 years, 8 or 9 out of 11 seasons, they were always on television. So if they win the football game, I wouldn't care. If they lose the football game, it wouldn't be a big surprise. Now, however, for Pittsburgh, because Ben Roethlisberger was injured in week 1, and they lost him as quarterback, this hurts the football team in all areas. This hurts their offense. This hurts their defense. They have to play all 4 quarters. They have to struggle to stay in the football game. They get blown out. I mean, ever since they got blew out by the New England Patriots at the start of the season, this team has never been the same. You know, week 2 came up. They had led the football game. Okay, they was going to try to win the second game, lost. Then they lost this, you know, they lost yesterday. So, for you to lose 3 games in a row, you know, I don't think they played yesterday, but you know what I mean. I mean, for them to have to lose, if they did, then, you know, this is going to be back-to-back. And then for you to lose, and then you're on Monday Night Football, it's like, you do know the rule about that, right? You lose too many times on Sunday, and then if you lose on Monday night primetime television, you know what happens, right? They take you off of television. I didn't make the rules. I'm just telling you. When the Rams started winning, they put them on primetime television. When the Raiders and the Chargers started winning football games, they got put on primetime television. And if Pittsburgh do not win this game, and I'm being serious, if Pittsburgh do not win this game at home, don't be surprised if we get to October or November and all of a sudden you don't see them on Monday night or Thursday night football as much. And then 2 years down the road, when Ben Roethlisberger announced his retirement that they just take them off of television completely. Because when they put teams that do terrible on primetime television, the ratings don't go up, it goes down. And then that's a problem for the producer, because then he has to, you know, call up the commissioner and say, give me a football team on Monday night. Like the Patriots, they would prefer the Patriots on Monday Night Football, you know, I'll tell you the truth. You know, but they're trying to be nice and fair and not biased. Now, Big Ben is out. So that's the thing. If he ain't playing, then the Bengals should probably win this game by 15-20. And if Pittsburgh win, then the score should be 20. It should be again 15-20. Might even be 25. I don't think this is going to be a high-packed scoring game. I think it's going to be one of those, if you win at home, you probably win by 2 or 3 touchdowns if you're at home. If you're on the road, you would probably have to blow this team out, because the only way I can see the Bengals win is you would probably have to blow them out. If they can't, and the score's too close, then it's gonna allow Pittsburgh to win a sloppy game. So I think this is gonna turn into one of those sloppy football games where I say Pittsburgh win because they're at home, but then look what happened last week. I said Green Bay was at home and they should beat the Eagles, and the Eagles came in there and blew out the Packers. And I said in a joke, that'd be funny if the Eagles upset the Green Bay Packers in a joke. I said it'd be funny if they upset, and guess what? Even though I joked, they did exactly what I didn't think they would do. They upsetted the Packers. And I think that's probably what we're going to see today. We're probably going to see an upset. Because, again, I'm saying they're Pittsburgh's at home. They should be able to win. So I'll probably say it's probably be 50-50. I don't see this game going to overtime. I don't see this being an entertaining football game. It's probably going to be one of those games on Monday that you'll probably watch and you probably go, where's the action? Where's the excitement? It's smash mouth football. Where's the impact? Not with this football game. Now, Thursday, I think that will be highly watched and highly anticipated. Because why? It's going to be the LA Rams and it's going to be the Seattle Seahawks. And the Rams better hurry up and get their act together, because you're playing Seattle in Seattle. And Russell Wilson is looking for his revenge for being humiliated last season. Because Seattle played the Rams twice last year, and he ended up playing them 3 times in one season, and he only beat them once. For you to lose in LA and then have the Rams beat you in Seattle, you know he wants some payback. So obviously he's gonna be waiting for them to come. And that video that I'm gonna predict, that's gonna be highly watched and anticipated. Until then, peace.